What is going on, obscure mic people? It's Mark coming at you yet again with a really Thanosy looking unit, which you can also get in black. The Synido 100, the Synido Live 100. This is a sound card slash audio interface slash streaming machine slash kind of do everything machine, sort of. Pretty cool. But Sonido sent this one over to me, newly released on Amazon. Link in the description down below. I'm not editing that out. Down below. Freaking hell, man. Anyways, we've got this Donner P08 running into the machine. And before I get too deep into it, let me at least show you what inputs and outputs are actually on the machine, as well as showing you some purple stuff. And then we'll get on to a walkthrough of all the buttons and all that good stuff. And just know, dynamic microphone. I've got the gain up to about, which this is not a super gain hungry microphone, but it is somewhat gain hungry. So we do know this will run a dynamic fairly well, and the gain is set to about 2 o'clock on the dial. I would estimate that that is at about 65%, 65% gain. So let's take a look at the unit real quick. On the front of the unit, we have headphone jack, a headset jack, mic 1 and mic 2 3.5 millimeter jacks, which is really cool that you've got two mic inputs on the front there. Even though they're 3.5, still pretty cool. There's the top of the unit. We're going to get to that here in a few minutes with a test with the microphone that Sonido sent over to me. And now let's take a look at the back of the unit. You've got a DC 5. So if you're using an iPhone, you can just run some USB-C power to it and then run out the next port over beside it, which is for your PC. You can then run that to an iPhone, Android, whatever. But for the sake of knowing, I am running this whole thing with an Android phone right now. No extra power needed. Plugged directly into a Galaxy S20 FE. Then we've got a line out, a 1/4 inch headphone jack. So two headphone jacks. That's nice. A live 1, 2, and 3. You can run this to phones, cameras, whatever. So multicam stream, you can send your audio to a multicam stream with this thing, which I think is where the real value is with this. Then we also have an instrument input. So yes, guitar, all that good stuff, good to go. We also have a line in if you want to run sounds from a sound pad or from a mixer or a different device straight into the machine via 3.5 millimeter. You can do that. Then we've got the XLR jack on the back and for a 1/4 inch jack for another mic. So we have four mic inputs. Technically, you may just have to get a little bit fancy with it to get everything working the way you want to. But yeah, that's the machine. Lot of options here. I think that's the big selling point with the Synido Live 100 is that you get a lot of options as far as where you want your sound to go. And technically, if you want to run a 4-person show with this, you can. Now, the only weird thing about that is the mic volume gain knob, whatever, that is a little different because that's going to control all the mics. So I'm not real sure how you're going to pull that off. I suppose it can be done. Maybe if you're using like the same four kind of microphones plugged into the input, it'll work out. But I'm not going to go through and test all of them right now. For me, the selling point of this machine is a streaming beast. If you want to do a multicam setup, especially, I think this is going to get all that done for you. Before I move on to the test with the microphone Sonido sent over, which is a Sonido branded microphone, I do want to go through the Bluetooth option here. I've got my phone connected, my actual phone. This is running into my studio phone. But let's find some music to queue up. Sadly, it's probably going to have to be my own for copyright purposes. So you are going to hear some Imperial Bark is what it's called. And this is some highly experimental stuff here. Uh, I'm not going to play much of it. But Imperial Bark song is called Sinking. I'm not going to play much of it because it was just for fun. And I thought, anything for fun, I'm still going to publish it. Eventually, I'll get around to making some actual music. But here's something I whipped up in about 3 hours. We can control this with
What happened?
with the volume on the
Sinking.
phone.
We're sinking.
Bluetooth
We're sinking.
from here to the machine.
Yeah, we're sinking. The station's a social.
All right, we're not going to torture ourselves with that anymore. A little bit of a rap, rage, 9 Inch Nails, weird vibe going on. Weird stuff. Sorry I put you through it. Let's take a look now at all the features, buttons, bells, whistles, as far as the sound pads and all that good stuff goes, and a little B-roll right now. Okay, let's get into some of the features and recordings here. For this part of the video, I am going to use the mic that Sonido sent over. Good build quality. It's a condenser microphone, plugs into the mic 1 port here with a 1/4-inch jack. I have tested this with phantom power and other things, and it just doesn't seem to work any which way except for with this interface, which is fine. It came with a mic. That's cool. So Synido Live 100. Let's get into it. So first, I'm going to start out up here. We've got the mic volume knob, which you can adjust the mic, volume back and forth. Pretty self-explanatory. There is a little catch here. So that's, like a unity point there, kind of mid-gain. You have to turn it to get it to go either way. Clicks right into place there. Then we've got treble. We can take the treble way up on this thing like so, or we can go midway and then go all the way down, which I assume is no added treble at all. But again, all these knobs have a stopping point that locks in at the halfway marker. We got bass, so we can go halfway up on the bass, and then we can go full into the bass. So that's kind of a nice thing. Let's just go back to the bottom on that as well. We have level outs for the line instruments, the live volume, which is what I'm using now, running into a phone. We have an echo. We can turn that up like so, and then turn that up like so. I don't know if it's actually working or not, because I don't know if there's a button I need to hit. BGM volume is these little pads here. Down here, we'll get to that in a minute. Recording volume, I believe, goes out the USB into the computer. And music volume is if you have, I believe, Bluetooth or a phone plugged in. You can, any kind of incoming sound, you can do with that music volume. Then we've got a monitor knob over here. I think the LED lights around the knobs are a nice touch here. That's a very nice touch. And again, this thing is heavy and built like a tank. It is very good quality materials. Cables that came with it are good. Everything's good. 48-volt phantom power switch on and off. We can enable that because we're not plugged into the XLR port right now. Then we got Bluetooth on and off. I guess I could demonstrate that at some point. Probably not while we're doing this view. We've got a dodge button, a denoise button. Let me enable the denoise. I'm going to turn a heater on in the background, a little space heater. I'm sure that added some noise. I'll be quiet. Now let's hit the denoise button. There's the denoise button. Should only be coming through when I talk, and there's different levels to the denoise button. Here's the green level. We just went up from the blue. Now we're on the red level. Red level from green. There's that. Vocal cut. I believe if I hit that, maybe it doesn't. Oh, okay. It lit up. I don't know what it's doing though. I still hear myself in the headphones, so I'm not sure if that's what that's doing to the vocals, if anything. Maybe that cut me out completely. Maybe it's a mute button. I don't know. I pressed it. I kept talking. We'll see. Denoise is off now. And we'll go ahead and turn the heater back off. We have a loop back button here to run audio in through the USB from a computer. It's a very cool feature. This thing's got a lot of stuff. We got the voice changer buttons, 6 of those pads.
Now I'm a girl. That's actually somewhat similar to a real change, kind of, little bit.
Warcraft. Because that's what it sounds like is Warcraft. Mars. I am the alien Bark from Mars. That's me. How you doing? Could you possibly take me to your leader, maybe? I heard he's cool.
Robot. This sounds it sounds a little bit like Bender from Futurama, but not a lot. Woo!
Now we've got a child voice, which actually just sounds like a creepy old man.
Then we got a boy voice. Because, all boys sound reverby and weird. All right.
So out of all of that, we just hit the dry button over here. Dry basically means no effects. So whatever you're in effects wise, you have to hit dry to get back to normal. Let's go through the sound pads. Opening it. Yeah, applause. Yes, laughter. Some booing. Caca. Whew, that is such a low quality clip there. Listen to that again. That is terrible there. Okay, let's go from dry. You have to have the echo turned up. So we'll go 1 o'clock on the echo. And then we'll go to the pop voice. The pop voice. Now we'll go to the shouty shout. Let's just echo it all the way. Shouty shout. KTV, whatever that means. KTV, whatever that means. Pro. Maybe that's not what that is. Dub. Pro. That's a long echo. Dub is a short echo. KTV. Shout. Pop. Dry. Okay. Let's keep going. Electro. We've got B. We can auto tune to a B. Now we can go to C. Double D's. Oh, yeah. Regular D. Oh, still yeah. EB. Yeah. E. The letter E. F. G's. Single G. A, B. Single A. Double B. Single B. I'm dreaming of turning those off. That's what I'm dreaming of. Turning those off. So now that we've went through everything there, let's stop and go back to my face, I guess. All right. So pluses and minuses here. Pluses, tons of outputs, plenty of inputs. The price of this thing, right now you can get the Synido on sale or for sale on Amazon, $119.95. And Sonido's been kind enough to give me discount codes specific to the viewers of obscure mics, 18% off, going to come to about $21 off. So you can get this thing for under $100 before tax, which, man, if you're looking for something for streaming or just, it's a lot of fun. This machine might be a great way to get everything going for you for under $100. So again, pluses, outputs, inputs, sound pads, auto tune. We've got sound effects. We've got reverb. We've got Bluetooth. We got 48 volts phantom power, powered by a phone, powered externally. Lots and lots of options. The only cons I can really come up with at this time, there are two. One, the headphone jack, like so many other devices that I've tested over my 1100 years in audio, slight reverb effect in the headphones, a little bit strange. So if you're really like, if you're doing mic monitoring or a channel like this, you may not want to go with this for like a mic review unit. But if you just want to hear everything going on and don't mind that little slight bit of echo, then it's not a con. For me, I can't use it for mic reviews because that's a little bit of a con. I can't hear exactly what's going on. I hear it, but there's a little slight doubling effect. And then also, I'm not sure if maybe it's just my unit, but there is a very slight amount of like in and out hiss when I talk. It's got a noise gate on it like you saw in the video. I'm going to enable that real quick. Okay, now we've got the noise gate on. And I feel like the noise gate takes away what I just said. Maybe. We'll have to see in the video. Without the noise gate on, I feel like it's trying to gate out some of the noise. And when I talk, you hear this little slight inherent hiss noise as I start speaking. And as I stop, it's like fade in, fade out noise. I really think they intended this to be used with the noise gate on, but you got those 3 levels of noise gate. So if that remedies it, I think the first level noise gate is darn near perfect as far as like the in and out goes. It's not a hard cut in and a hard cut out when I talk and stop talking. But yeah. So me, I'd use this with the first level noise gate on all the time because I think it does a really good job at keeping hiss out. Then it just becomes a matter of, do you hear that inherent little hiss in and out? I'm going to turn this off so you can see. All right. See, I hear it now when I talk in and out with no noise gate, just a slight little bit of fuzz when I start talking in and out. Now I'm going to turn the noise gate back on level 1, and this is what it sounds like talking in and out. So that's fine with me, knowing that the noise gate pretty much remedies what ails me on this unit. So the headphone doubling effect is probably the number one thing that I don't love about it. The gain, I do know I hooked up a high gain dynamic. It was the Superlux D421. It drove it to a good enough level with no real preamp noise, but a little more power would be nice. But again, using condensers not an issue. Most dynamics also not an issue. So for under $100, depending on your needs, I think this could be kind of a really solid option for you, especially if you don't want to sink a bunch of money into gear and you want to run multicam setup, you want Bluetooth, you want all this stuff. This is, in my opinion, as far as the budget interfaces go that have these features, it's hard to complain for the price on this one. For that reason, I think this purple machine beast is kind of a go as long as you're getting started and have a use for all these outputs and inputs. This could be a winner for you. I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm going to play around with it a lot more in the coming weeks and see what else I can eke out of this machine because I feel like there's some potential here that's untapped. There is also software, recording software for this machine through Synido. So you can download that, record straight to your computer with the Synido software. No Audacity or anything like that needed. And I think that's pretty cool as well. So some other features and options in there, but for the most part, it's their very own recording app. So I think that's super cool. Synido, thanks for sending this one over. It's a fun machine. I'm going to see what else I can do with it. And we might even come back with a secondary review just to see what I can. Sorry, Mike. Just to see what else I can eke out of this machine and where I can go with it because I've been testing it for a few weeks, but not hardcore. And I might leave this up in the studio to do some hardcore testing with. So stay tuned. The Synido Live 100 just might be back. Obscure Mics, thanks for watching another one. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.